Good morning to all.
Sunilji, good morning. Sunil, good morning.
Very good morning to all, and it's been a warm welcome that we have been in the a very pressure movement where we have been going to host our guest lecture program. May I now ask Christy to start the MOC.
Sir.
A very pleasant good morning to one and all present here. Prayer is a surge of the heart. It is a simple look turned towards heaven, embracing both trial and joy. May I now call upon the students for the prayer song.
Students, your voice is not audible. Students, for the prayer song.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிர்ச்சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you, students. May I now request Dr. Sunil Sir, Associate Professor of MBA Department, to introduce the chief guest.
Priya, just mute your audio, ma. Or Priya, mute your audio. Right. Sorry for the delay, and it's been a great pleasure to welcome our chief guest, It's absolutely the time in Canada is it's almost 11:45. It's almost 11:45, and daughter of Rebecca Wasson, the ultimate speaker, the founder, the entrepreneur, the dentist. Dr. Rebecca, how to tell about this? The topic of what we are going to be discuss, right? Disengagement in for freelancer workers, and absolutely that's a great topic. Whereas the person, the guest speaker, Dr. Rebecca, we got the appointment, right? So we got the appointment from ma'am, and ma'am has been deserved to speak, and ma'am is deserved to be the right person to speak about that particular topic. And we've been very much excited, and the thing is, the timing of is ma'am has been considered ourselves, and she's been moving through, and let the students, you have to take the opportunity of this, and our distinguished speaker, Dr. Rebecca Wasson, right? So I request our chief guest of the day to start up the session, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Really looking forward to meeting with all of you, maybe more in the future as well. Going to share the screen here. Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am,
all
visible.
see it? Yeah.
Visible.
I think someone's mic is on. If you can all mute. I know it's a lot of confusion when you're talking. Yes, I think I did that. I think I've muted everyone. Can you all hear me now? Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
okay. Sir, I think there are students waiting in the waiting room. Maybe if you can let them in, or I can let them in too. Okay, so thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I'm originally from Tamil Nadu. I'm originally from Chennai, from Madras. And I grew up in Madras. I did a lot of my studies there, my schooling. And I'm a dentist, first of all, and I studied there in Savita Dental College. Before I moved abroad, before I did my MBA and all of that in the UK and moved abroad. So it was lovely listening to the Tamil Thai Valta. It was like, I've not heard that since my university days, my college days. So it was beautiful listening to that. So very excited to be here. Right now, I'm a professor at Algoma University in Toronto in Canada. And I've been living in Canada now for the last 7 years. So my life is based here. And, but yeah, it's lovely to meet all of you, and so many of you enthusiastic. I see that there are 80 participants in the room, so it's awesome. This topic of engagement in freelance workers and gig workers is something that's sort of close to my heart. I'm not a PhD yet. I'm hoping to work towards my PhD, and I'm hoping to do my research on this. So I wrote a journal article on this topic, and it's in the process of getting published. And so because of that, I did a bit of research. I did some primary research. I created a survey, and I got some results. And I think you guys are the first people that I'm going to share that with, because the journal article has not been published yet, right? Okay, so just move that. So remote workers, non-traditional knowledge workers or gig workers, as you all know now, especially since the pandemic, we have all started working from home, and most likely this is going to be the reality going forward, right? Many companies, they have wanted employees to come back to work at the workplace, but there is some pushback. People are used to working from home now, so they don't want to go back to work in the workplace. So the HR prediction is that in the future, it's going to be a hybrid system. Maybe we'll go into work 2 days a week, and 3 days a week we will work from home. Right now, I teach my classes online in Algoma University here. Last term, this current term is ending for us in December. This term, I was teaching 2 classes in person and the rest of the classes online. So going forward, there's going to be a lot of online workers, a lot of remote work, right? And the other prediction for the future, of course, is the gig economy. When we say gig economy, it's going to be a lot of freelance workers who are going to be hired on a freelance basis by companies, right? So you might be hired in the future by a company just to do a website, or just to do a marketing project, or just to do a search engine optimization project, right? So in that case, you would not be a traditional employee of the company. You would be a freelancer. You're working part-time, right? So you are like an independent entrepreneur, and the company calls you in to work on a particular project. So that's how the world is going to be in the future. At least in the West, it's happening already. India, it might take a few more years, but I'm sure India is going to catch up with that. So in the future, it's going to be less of traditional employees and more of freelance employees, because now everybody can work with a computer or a laptop, no matter where we are in the world, right? So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the website Upwork. If you can Google Upwork on your phones, there's a website called Upwork, and Upwork is a site where you can find freelancers who are willing to do any sort of work. You want to hire a virtual secretary, a virtual assistant, or you want to hire a web designer, you want to hire a social media marketing person, whatever it is, you can find a person on Upwork, and you can give them, say, 10 hours of work or 12 hours of work till they finish the project, right? So the numbers of freelance workers have gone up greatly, and it's a huge win for companies, especially small employers, because when you don't have the employee on your payroll permanently, you don't have to pay them pension benefits, you don't have to pay them provident fund, you don't have to pay all the extra stuff, right? So it's a big win for companies. Companies save a lot of money this way. And for the freelancers, it's a win too, because they are working from home. They can work from anywhere in the world with a laptop. So they are independent. Nobody is telling them that they have to be in the office from 9 to 5, right? So it's a win-win both ways. So for this research project that I did, I interviewed remotely working consultants and freelance workers. So consultants are people who mainly give advice on big projects, like if you want to, say, recruit a big team of people for your company, or you're thinking of moving your company products to a new market, whatever, you hire a consultant to come in as an advisor, right? But freelancers are people who might deliver specific projects, like they might create a website, or they might deliver marketing material for you, specific projects, right? So I interviewed several remotely working consultants and freelancers for my project. So again, as I said, freelancers are contracted to deliver specific deliverables, and consultants are more thinkers. They are the knowledge experts who provide advice on projects. Now, all these guys were remotely working and they prefer to work remotely on their own. They prefer to freelance because then they are their own boss, right? They are not really reporting to a manager. They are running a business by themselves. It's almost like they are an entrepreneur, right? So the problem we're going to discuss now is about engagement with freelancers or gig workers, right? You guys would have studied about employee engagement in your management classes, in human resources management. In companies, typically the HR department, they do all these engagement activities, right? Birthday parties for the employees, cutting cake, Christmas parties, Diwali parties, right? These are considered to be employee engagement activities in the HR department. But more than that, employee engagement is really about how engaged the employee is with the work that he's doing, how engaged he is to the company that he's working for, how loyal he is to the company that he's working for, and how much interest he has in his work, right? So if you're a regular employee who goes to the company and works 5 days a week, 9 to 5, it's more easy for the person to be engaged to the company because you're there every day. You're seeing your manager every day. You're seeing your team members every day, right? On your break, you go and drink tea and have samosas with your teammates. So that engagement is there. But imagine these guys, the freelance guys, the gig workers, they are working from home, right? They don't come into work. They don't engage really with the team. Oh, somebody is using the annotate option. Let me clear all the drawings. And let me not let anybody annotate. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, I'm disabling annotation for this. Okay. So these guys who are working from home, who are working from a coffee shop and they're doing the work, right? They are not seeing their colleagues at the workplace every day, like your typical traditional employee. So they are not going to feel close to their team. They're not going to feel close to their manager. They are not going to feel that sense of loyalty with the company because the physical distance is very great. Now, because of computer technology, you can have teams working from different parts of the world. It happens always here in North America. Many of our IT people in organizations are based in India. Then we would have consultants based in London. We would have people based in the US. And we are sitting here in Canada and we are all working together. We are all connected because of the internet, right? It is great to work as an international team. But the problem with that is we are not sitting with a person every day in the office and seeing them face to face. So we don't have that friendship and that social adhesion that is there with a regular traditional worker, right? So in employee engagement, the concept of employee engagement first came up by a management thinker called William Cann in 1990. So it was like a long time ago, 1990, we are in 2022. He first brought out this idea of employee engagement. How engaged are your employees with the work that they are doing? How engaged are your employees with their team members? And how engaged are your employees with the company? Okay, that's what he was trying to find out. And he felt that there are different factors that are important for engagement. The first one is meaningfulness of the work. Any employee should feel that his work is worth doing. You should feel excited about going to work, right? You don't want employees who are so unhappy and who are crying every day to come to work, who are coming to work only because of the paycheck. No, you want employees who are happy because they feel that they are deriving some meaning from their work. So that is the first thing that is important for employee engagement. Then psychological safety. Employees should feel safe to express their views. If they are not happy with what the manager is saying, if they are not happy with their manager's opinions, they should feel safe to say it. They shouldn't think that if I say something against my manager, I'll get fired. If that fear is there, then employees are not going to open up. They will not be engaged at work, right? They should feel safe at work to volunteer their opinions. And then they should feel that they have the mental, emotional, and physical resources to do their jobs. Now, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people have been experiencing mental illness, anxiety, depression, right? Because of so many issues that happened during the pandemic. We lost people we love, we lost family members and friends. So the whole world is experiencing anxiety and depression, and this leads to issues at the workplace, right? So you want your employees to be mentally happy, emotionally happy, and physically as well. They must have all the resources to do the work that has been given to them. Only then will they feel engaged to the work, right? So these are basically the three things that he was talking about: physical and mental resources, psychological safety, as I said, and the meaningfulness of the work, right? So these are the three factors that William Cann basically talked about when it came to employee engagement. Now, there's a lot of literature for employee engagement for regular employees, but you can't find too much research on employee engagement for gig workers and freelance workers. That's why I became interested in this topic, right? So in this study, I got responses. It was not a very big study. I just did it as a small primary study. I got responses from 28 consultants and 24 freelance workers. Now, these guys were working in different industries: public sector, banking, IT, healthcare industries, okay? So I got responses from all of them. They were all asked to fill up a structured questionnaire, and the data was collected based on, it was a Likert format on a 1 to 6 scale, 1 being strongly disagree and 6 being strongly agree. So I was trying to find out how engaged these people felt with the companies that they were working for. Now, the results of my survey showed that in terms of meaningfulness of work, right, a lot of my respondents, that is about, I would say, 42% of my respondents said that they are not using all of their expertise at work. Now, this typically happens, right? If you have a freelance worker whom you have hired only to do a website design, he might be good in doing other things, but his full expertise is not being utilized. I also had respondents who said that they are not acquiring new abilities or knowledge at the workplace. So this is making them feel disengaged at their workplace. Another problem was that companies were not telling these freelance workers about what their long-term projects are, because these guys are not permanent employees, right? So companies were treating them like contractors. They would say, okay, come in, make the website, do the project and get out, right? So they don't give them any long-term plans. They don't tell them what they plan to do with the company after 5 years or after 10 years, right? So employees feel, the freelance guys feel, okay, I did the job, but I don't know what the results of my job are. Is the company really going to use the work that I did? They don't know, right? Because they do the job in a few hours or in a few days, and then they are out. So they don't feel engaged with the work. They don't feel that sense of loyalty to the company, right? And then freelancers are not given any proper title or responsibility, right? IT companies like TCS, Infosys, they work a lot with freelancers and consultants. But sometimes, consultants and freelancers, they don't even get ID cards. They only get guest ID cards. ID cards are given only to regular employees. So these guys feel that they are not being treated as one of the team, right? So they don't feel that sense of engagement with the company. Also, they don't have any social ties or bonding with the company. You know, normally in companies, we'll have company parties. After work, all the team will go out for drinks or to have a coffee together. But these consultant guys and freelance guys are left out because many of them are working remotely. Even if they are not working remotely, they are left out. So they feel that they are excluded from the team. So these are the responses that I was getting on my survey. Regarding social cohesion and communication, most of these guys would only work remotely. There would be no face-to-face meetings with the rest of the team, right? Face-to-face meetings, sometimes I think nearly 50% of them said that face-to-face meetings happened only once a month or never. They never really met or spoke face-to-face to other permanent employees on the team. So that again decreased their engagement with the company and with the team. Regarding psychological safety, again, I got poor results, right? Because these freelance workers, they want to get more jobs. So once their freelance project is over with a company, they want the same company to call them back for future projects, right? So they don't want to irritate anybody in the company. They don't feel comfortable talking openly about many things, right? Also, these guys don't get any performance rewards or even performance feedback because the manager thinks this guy is not my staff. He is not part of my team. He is just a contractor. He's an outside contractor. So I'm not going to give him any performance evaluation or anything, right? So again, this decreases the engagement of the workers, freelance workers with the team and the company. And in terms of availability as well, how available they are mentally, emotionally to do the job. You can see here that most of them, they felt that the other permanent team members were not contributing anything. In the team meeting, they would expect this freelance guy, the consultant guy, to do all the work. They would expect the freelancer to give all the information. The other permanent employees won't even prepare when they come to the team meeting, right? And these guys did not really have a proper awareness about the company's culture, values, system, nothing, right? Normally, if an new employee joins a company, you have the orientation. They are oriented on the company's policies, culture, etc. But the freelance workers very seldom get that. So again, they don't feel engaged with the company or with the team, right? So employee engagement is directly related to job satisfaction, organizational commitment, that is loyalty to the organization, and motivation, right? So it's related to these three things. So basically, if your employees are not feeling engaged with their work and with their company, then their job satisfaction, loyalty to the company, and motivation for their work goes down. So you don't want that, right? An employee who is not motivated, who is not satisfied with the job, who is not loyal to the company, is not going to be doing the best work. He's not going to be doing the optimum work, right? So what are my recommendations? For freelance workers, we have to provide them with worker orientation. Just like we do with regular employees, we need to do the same thing with freelance workers, right? We need to introduce them to the team, take them around. Even if they are working remotely, we must have regular face-to-face meetings, introduce them to all the managers, all the team members, tell them about the long-term plans of the company, tell them about the company's culture, values, etc. Then you must get them together for team building activities with the regular employees, right? Even if they are working remotely, you can still have team activities remotely as well now. And we found that out during the pandemic, right? We can have team discussions. We can have coffee together online. Mentoring should be provided for freelance workers and gig workers. Often managers don't like to mentor these guys because they say that these guys are not part of my team. They are contractors, right? But don't do that. You need to mentor your freelance workers just as you would mentor your regular employees, and have a proper appraisal and compensation system for them. Just as with normal employees, we do performance appraisal, you need to do that with the freelancers as well. Tell them how well they did the job. If they didn't do the job well, tell them that, right? And maybe tie in some performance incentive to the appraisal. So that's the end of my very brief presentation. I was just getting a little worried because the Zoom time seems to be running out. So I rushed through the presentation a little bit. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. I'm just going to turn off my slideshow now. Thank you all again, and I hope that was helpful for you.
Students, if you have any doubts, just proceed with ma'am, because it may be around 12 to 12:15 in Canada, I think so. Really, we have been disturbing ma'am, but really within the short span of time, really we got very inputs, and students, if you have any doubts, you may just raise your questions.
In my point of view, what are the motivating factors for gig workers? Basically the same things as anybody else, right? If you're going to look at the usual Maslow's hierarchy of motivation, or you look at Herzberg's motivating factors for everybody, it's extrinsic rewards, which is your money, cash. We all need money, and the intrinsic rewards, right? We need our manager or our employees to say, hey, you did a good job, very good. You need to find meaning in your work. You need to enjoy your work. Those are the intrinsic factors. So extrinsic and intrinsic factors are there as motivating factors for everybody, including gig workers and freelance workers. I think Sethupadhi had asked that question. Anybody else? The time is 11:40, by the way. It's not past 12, and it's okay. I sleep late, so it's fine.
Really, ma'am, because being empathetic, if we have been in your situation, ma'am, really it will be a
So there's a question that, is it worthwhile working as a freelancer, or as a fresher, should we start working traditionally? I'm guessing, are you all MBA students, or are you bachelor students? Like, what are you guys studying? Are you all on the MBA program?
all the students are
MBA students, yeah. Maybe, I think, at least in India right now, with the economy the way it is, it would be better for you to start off as regular employees. And as you get more experience, as you get more contacts in the industry, then you can shift to becoming a consultant or becoming a freelancer. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. First, get experience, form a network in the industry, and then you can shift over to becoming a consultant or a freelancer. Yeah. And for that, you need to really build up your profile, build up your LinkedIn profile. I'm always happy to connect with students on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. So build up a network on LinkedIn, right? Instead of being on Facebook, be on LinkedIn and build up a network there.
Any questions, students?
What made me do MBA after BDS? Well, I worked as a dentist for 2 years. I did work as a dentist for 2 years in Madras. But then I didn't really enjoy dentistry so much. I wanted to be more in the management side of things. And that's why I went to the UK. I did a small diploma in marketing in Liba. That is the Loyola College in Chennai. And I found that I enjoyed that very much. So that's why I went and did my MBA in the UK. And after that, I was working in hospitals. I was working in healthcare industries because of my dental background. I have a strong knowledge of the healthcare domain. And because of my MBA, I have management expertise. So because of that, I used to work in healthcare industries. Then I was working as a recruiter and HR in hospitals. And then now I'm teaching. So, yeah.
Any other questions, ma'am? Students?
Thank you.
Any other questions, students? Right, ma'am. Even though we have been spending little time, but each and every minute it's been valuable and it's been an excellent knowledge sharing session for our MBA students. And really, we felt very much pride and privilege to have you in this session, ma'am. And one thing is, during the busy schedule, ma'am has given appointment or given the schedule for this particular guest speak. Really, it's a pride and privilege moment for us. And this knowledge sharing sessions will absolutely it will motivate our students because from our state, ma'am has reached in the particular topmost positions. So absolutely, our students will be taken yourself as a role model, and absolutely they will be great get proceeding with their career aspects. Absolutely.
I hope so. Yeah, it's a great honor for me to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, Dr. So,
Christy, any more MOC over here?
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for your charismatic and inspiring speech. May I now call upon B. Nandini of first year MBA department to deliver the vote of thanks.
I think Nandini is in the waiting room. I think so, Abarna, Christy.
Nandini is joining. I just let her.
Nandini, you may just proceed with the vote of thanks. Unmute the voice and proceed with the vote of thanks, Nandini. Nandini, you may proceed with the vote of thanks. Give access to your voice. Okay, ma'am. Anyway, I'll be just ending up this session, ma'am. Anyway, ma'am, even though through this medium, we received this kind of knowledge sharing session from you, ma'am, and really we have been, in short, if you want to tell, really we have been blessed to hear the knowledge sharing session from your side, ma'am. And even though there's been a technical glitches because through online modem, absolutely the technical glitches, but even though we received what we exactly needed. And on the basis of that kind of fulfillment, just we have been heading up this session, ma'am. And in the upcoming semesters, absolutely in the different kind of topics and in the different modems, surely we need your knowledge sharing sessions in the upcoming semesters also. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation and delivering this wonderful guest lecture. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you.